Newcastle is a cheerful place nowadays, full of friendships, football games, shopping centres, bustling with life. However, what most people don't know is it is home to one of the most sinister unsolved crimes in the northeast. On November the 1st, 1963 at 10:50 am, a 70-year-old woman named Catherine Lillian Armstrong, better known as Lillian, was found battered to death in her own home. Earlier that day, Lillian's cousin, Ada Ridley, went round to Lillian's house and saw that the curtains were still drawn and she had failed to get an answer after knocking on the door repeatedly. Ada soon contacted the police. Once the police sergeant entered the house, Lillian's lifeless body lay in the bottom of her staircase, dressed in her dress and slippers. She'd been stabbed around the face and head 28 times. A nylon stocking was wrapped around her neck and wounds, and her hands suggested she'd been putting up a fight with her killer. But who was the killer? Previously, Mrs. Armstrong was a headmistress at the Denton Road Junior School, but she retired 6 years before her death. Lillian was a devout Methodist and she went to church regularly, even singing with the choir at the Central Methodist Church on Northumberland Road for 40 years. However, on the day of her death, Lillian had failed to show up to her usual choir meeting. She was last seen alive an hour before her practice by two children who saw her looking out of the window around 6:30 p.m. on October 31st. This case was priority for the police. 60-strong crime squad was involved, and within hours of discovering Lillian's body, officers requested help from detectives at London Scotland Yard. Detectives searched in drains, pipes and litter bins for the murder weapon, yet nothing was found. More than 5,000 house-to-house questionings were carried out by detectives, yet there is still no possible suspects or motives to this day. There is still lots of speculation into who Miss Armstrong's killer is. What grows the mystery further is Lillian's house had no signs of forced entry, making it possible she knew the killer. There are so many theories about who killed Miss Armstrong. Her cousin Ada said, "My cousin's house was big, dark and gloomy. It got no sun. I told her she should leave and take a flat near me, but she's very independent and said she's not afraid of living alone." Ada believes teenagers entered her cousin's home as a prank, got disturbed and killed her in a panic. However, my personal theory is that some of Lillian's old students came by her house on Halloween. She opened the door thinking they were all trick-or-treaters and then saw they were wearing nylon tights over their faces. Scared, she tried to close the door, but they pushed through and began stabbing her. The spooky thing is that the new owners of Lillian's house that moved in 1973 fled after only 2 months of living there, saying they had heard noises and felt a presence at the bottom of the stairs where Lillian died. The Halloween murder is still unsolved. The killer could be still walking among the streets of Newcastle.